You walk into GNC, same thing. You know what you're gonna get, supplements, different things like this. When you walk into GNC, the first thing that's said is, welcome to GNC, what brings you in the store today?
You ain't messing with the flow, you ain't messing with my vision. Messing with the money, you ain't messing with decisions. Yeah, you messing with the team, then you messing with the squad. Mess with one of us, you be messing with them all. Yeah. Staying up late, making it right, living it up to my name. Focus on doing it better. You just be doing the same, you doing it lame. I'm doing like everything changed. Forget all the money, forget all the fame. I still would've done it if they would've played all of the music I make every day. Like whoa, crazy the way the world goes. Blind when you look at it close. Zoom out when you viewing the picture. Perspective is all that we know.
That's huge, right? Because that's basically, I do the very similar thing. I knock them all out so that way I know I can prioritize the rest of my day, the rest of my week, versus having them all over the place, because that stresses the shit out of coaches. They're like, I can't do anything. Why? Well, I have this call and this call. I was like, why do you do that to yourself? And a lot of people, they don't like asking this question because they're like, oh, well, then it brings up room for them to say something is wrong and I don't want disappointment and blah, blah, blah. That's not it. Every time somebody brings something up, it's never a problem and it's always an opportunity. You can look at everything as dark or light, right? I always look in the light. And the reason why I say that is because if there's something that they're not necessarily getting, now we can talk about it, discuss it, and move forward into a longer program and fulfill whatever it is that's not there, right? Or fulfill whatever it is that they need or want. Time allows you to make your program better every single time. When they say something like, oh, I can't afford it, or I don't know if the time is, it's a complaint. It's not your fault that they can't afford it, so it's not an objection. They're complaining because they know that they need to move forward, but they can't, they're upset with themselves because they can't afford it, right? So you have to understand that mentally when you're going into it, because then that shifts the way that you respond, right? Knowing that they're upset with themselves, you wouldn't respond with something along the lines of, no, I completely understand, let's go ahead and lower the price, right? Because I always get clear with them, because if that's an excuse, I want to know the real thing. Otherwise I can't help them, right? If they get off the phone with me, I'm not helping them, I'm not serving them, I'm not doing what my job is anyways, right? So I'd rather get all the information I can and know, so I can then provide the help, or, overcome whatever it is and move forward. Or I know 100% that they're just not going to buy it. Either way, I know. But I've been around now where internet sales weren't there, right? And it was all in-person sales. It was all brick and mortar sales, right? So that process looks like this. If you need something, you go to a store. Storefront, brick and mortar. Because it's a building, because it's a structure, you know that you can rely on it, right? You know that it's a trusted source. You go into Walmart, you know Walmart's going to have toys, electronics, and food, different things. It's trustworthy. You go in there, you know what you're going to get. You walk into GNC, same thing. You know what you're going to get. Supplements, different things like this. When you walk into GNC, the first thing that's said is, welcome to GNC, what brings you in the store today? Within the first 5 seconds of you walking in the door, it is their job to ask that question. Show up, be in a hurry to serve more, right? What brings you in the store today? Oh, I'm looking for some protein. What kind of protein are you currently taking? Oh, I'm taking this stuff. What's your goal? Well, I want to do this. Awesome, I got the perfect type of protein for you. I literally answered a couple of quick questions, got what I needed from them, moving them towards a solution. Quick, boom, boom. But it's trusted, right? Because it's a storefront. I know what I'm getting before I even walk in the door. That is your Facebook. Because before it used to be a seller's market. Because it was all like in-person sales. We didn't have the internet like blowing up like it is. But right now, it's actually, there's more information in the buyer's fingertips. Their levels are so heightened on what they know and don't know that they're way more skeptical, which means it's actually a buyer's market, not a seller's market. So how do you leverage that to your advantage? Your Facebook is your storefront. Your content is your conversation. You post 6-7 times a day. The first post may be something, related to nutrition or whatever. Sally, your friend, comments on it and says, hey, wow, this is awesome. I didn't know this. I'm going to start, applying this today. Boom. You say, yeah, that's awesome, Sally. Like, it works really, really well, blah, blah, blah. You post something on a little bit later, that's the start. That's, hey, welcome to GNC, what brings you in the store today? You post again, Sally decides to comment on it. It could be a day later, it could be a week later. Sally decides to comment on it, it's about exercising. Wow, that's awesome, I'm gonna have to try that today. Yeah, Sally, blah, 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 this is really good, blah, blah. That's what kind of protein are you currently taking and what are your goals? Do you see how your Facebook wall becomes your storefront? Valuable information. Now, you're growing and building trust, right? So as you're doing that, more and more people are showing up on your page looking for that information. Now, a lot of people will say, don't give away too much information. You don't want to give away all the answers. You need to keep it to yourself. Otherwise, they ain't going to buy your product or your service. That couldn't be further from the truth right now. Because the first thing you need to know is 90% of Americans are overthinkers, which means that they'll overthink every single situation. You can give them every piece of the puzzle in your information out there, and they still won't apply it. That's what you're for. That's why they need your service. So this is where I have the issue with a lot of people. They fight me on this, and other people that I talk to, right? I don't know what to post. I don't want to annoy people. Man, that annoying person ain't gonna buy your product anyways. You gotta get it. That's your own insecurity. It's not them, it's you. But I do know that I want to add as much value as possible into the marketplace, so that way people, when they show up on my page, they know that I'm here to serve and help them and give them as much as I can. Which then asks them, or allows them, to ask the question of, how do I implement this into my life? How am I able to fit this into my plan, my program? They don't know how to implement it. They don't know how that is going to fit with them. It's like buying a book. Right? I have a book here. This book is absolutely useless to me unless what? Exactly. But the thing about books is this. You have all the information in there, and it seems legit, but what do we do to ourselves? Yep. And what does that look like? Wow, that's really, really cool. Like, I should start doing this. Then it goes to the next step of overthinking. But how do I do that? Is it going to be too much? Am I saying it the right way? Does it look the right way? All of these things pop up. And then guess what happens? He just posted something on Instagram and he posted something on Facebook. That looks really, really cool. That's a nice and shinier way of doing something. That's awesome. I'm going to look into that. I'm going to read what he has to say. Guess what just happened? And then they're like, how do I implement it into my business specifically? And that's where people get lost. That's why I say your page should be information all over the place. Information, motivation, right? Who you are, your life. Because that gets people A, value, but B, they get to know, love, and trust you as an individual. And I'm not going to hand you my credit card unless I know, love, and trust who you are. Down the road, right? People get to know, love, and trust who you are because guess what? I know. People aren't showing up enough on Facebook. People aren't showing enough on their social media. So when they are getting on the calls, their biggest problem is sales. And a lot of it is because they aren't doing the right sales process, or they're nervous, or they don't know enough about it, or they don't know how to do it right? But at the same time, you compare that with somebody not knowing who you are, not loving and trusting who you are, because you're not showing up in all these other spaces. They don't really know much about you. You literally have like a negative 2% of getting them into your program. But now you combine all of these things together. By the time you get them on the phone with you and you have that sales process nailed down to a T, you're winning. The ultimate goal is people into the program. That's how your business grows, but that's also how you serve more people. Yeah, everybody has this thought process of, I want to help 1 million people. If you really wanted to help 1 million people, you'd show up every single day, multiple times a day. And the only way to do that is by closing a deal. Because if they don't buy from you, you're not helping them anyway. Is that Sissy? Is that Sissy? One more. Jab. Knuckles. Knuckles. This is Dad. Dad there? Is that Dad there? Is that Dad there? Huh? Yes.
Good job.
Is that Dad there too? Is that Dad there? Dad. Uh-oh. Here. I got it, buddy. Thank you. Thank you. What's this?
Making it right, living it up to my name. Focused on doing it better. You just be doing the same, you doing it lame. I'm doing like everything changed. Forget all the money, forget all the fame. I still would've done it if they would've played all of the music I make every day. Like whoa, crazy the way the world goes. Blind when you look.